Ground, open up and swallow me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everyone doing? I just want to say welcome back to my old subscribers, and for everyone who is joining for the first time, hi, my name is Oleri, and I'm so glad that we get to be a family here. So please like, please subscribe, and let's get started. So actually, this is my very first ever story time, and if you read the title, it's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in high school. Like, I don't even know how I just remembered this, but I remembered it and I was like, I had to share it because it was so humiliating. So this happened in 2016 and I was in SS3 and it was during JAM. Oh my god, that was so humiliating. So if you're Nigerian, obviously you know what JAM is for. If you want to get into uni, you have to have JAM and it's over 400. But if you're not Nigerian, JAM is an exam that you have to kind of write that allows you to get into any Nigerian university. So if you're Nigerian and you're going to school abroad, you don't necessarily need JAM. JAM, J-A-M-B, not like jam like bread jam, no. It's an exam and like it's over 400. That's the total you can get. If you get like 200 and above, you are sure that you can get into university. It's really hard to get above 320 in JAM. It's just the way it is. Like, you don't really see people getting 330, 370. People don't really get that for whatever reason. So the highest you can really get in JAM is around 320. So now my JAM date was on the 9th of March, which coincidentally is my birthday. Was my birthday then. It's my birthday anyway. And that morning I was so stoked. Like, the day before, I stayed up all night reading, answering JAM past questions. Like, I was on fire. The next morning was my birthday. Like, I didn't even care. So I got in, I wrote the exam. If you ask me, I think I actually wrote like really well. It wasn't hard. It was actually very, like, compared to what everybody always say, oh, JAM is hard, JAM was relatively easy for me. I was actually pretty sure I would hit that 300 mark because everything I knew just came out. Like, it was just like everything I knew came out. I went back to school the next day. When I got back to school, someone asked me jokingly, she was a junior in my school. She actually will probably watch this video. I think she subscribed to me. Yeah, Chioma Osu. But she asked me, she was like, oh, Larry, how was your JAM? Have you seen your result? And I jokingly said yes. And she was like, what did you get? And I said 301. And she was like, are you serious? 301? I said yes initially, but then I was like, oh, I'm just joking. But I wrote really well, so I expect to get a score that good, right? I think I called my mom the next day. That was now the 11th. And asked her if they had brought my result out. She said they hadn't, so I just chilled. Then in the evening of that 11th, I have a younger sister, so you might remember her from my sister tag video. If you don't, I will link that video up here so you check her out and you know who she is. So Somi was in SS1 at that time. Students were in refectory, right? It was time for food. And I was in class reading because when I was in secondary school, all I ever did was read. So I was in class reading, and next thing I heard, Oleri, and I ran out. I was like, what happened? Next thing I saw Somi and one of her classmates, Teresa Gomo. They were running on the field and they were shouting, Oleri got 337 in JAM, 337. Everybody was like, Oleri, oh my god, Oleri, congrats. I was actually trying to process it. I was like, oh my god, what is happening? Then Tommy got towards me and she was actually running on the field. I knew this was serious because running on the field was punishable, right? Because we had sidewalks, so we weren't allowed to like run on the field. So for her to be doing something that like could potentially get her punished, I knew she was being genuine about it. Anyway, she ran, her and her friend ran, and they came, and then she couldn't even come and tell me personally. So when she finally got to me anyway, I now asked her, like, how do you know? Because obviously I'm not just going to take it. And then she said she called my mom, and my mom said I got 337. But 337 in JAM is ludicrous. Anyway, I was shaking, like I was visibly shaking, and then in 5 minutes the whole school had heard. Like, the whole school had heard that Oleri got 337 in JAM. One girl in my class, Mary, she not even came out. She was saying, Oleri, I heard that anybody that gets above 300 in JAM is going to meet Buhari. Buhari is our president. He's going to meet Buhari and shake him and do this. I was just trying to process everything because it was a lot. Like, everybody was hugging me. One girl in my class, Chika, she even took me to the grotto because we had this grotto of me. It was a Catholic, my school was a Catholic school. She even took me to the grotto, right? And they're just like, Larry, I tap into your blessing. I tap into your blessing. I was like, oh my God. I was excited, but then I didn't want to just like say yes, I got 337, because even though like I know I had worked my ass off and I knew that I really like did a great job, I was like, this is really funny. It just doesn't sound right. You get? So I actually tried to call my mom, and the way it was in our secondary school, phones weren't allowed, so you'd have to call through either a staff or a nurse, or not a staff. Generally nurses are staff, yes, are just non-academic staff. So it was evenings, all the teachers, they had gone home already. Then when I went to where the nurses were, the sick bay, the nurse that I was familiar with and we're family friends with, she wasn't around, and the nurse that was there, I didn't really talk to her. So I didn't just want to start asking her for her phone, because sometimes she could be like this. So anyway, I just fashed. The next day, all the teachers had also heard that Oleri got 337 in JAM. Did I send anybody? So all the teachers had heard, and they were using me as an example. If you read hard, you will be like that girl. And then my principal heard, and my chaplain heard that I got 337 in JAM. Fam! It was over for me. It was over for me. During mass, my chaplain would literally say, stand up, my dear. This girl is an example. Like, and then he would call me after mass. He'd be like, so you got 337 in JAM. At that point, the first time he called me, I actually really hadn't heard from my mom. For some reason, I hadn't been able to get in touch with her. So when he would ask me what I got, he asked me, so you got 337. I'm like, Father, I actually don't know. Then he asked me, how did the rumor start? And I said, I actually don't also know. It's just a rumor. Because I didn't want to get my sister in trouble, my younger sister. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I was like, oh, I actually don't know. Just a rumor. So a few days later, I was finally able to call my mom. And then when I called her, I didn't go with anyone, because every time I would say I wanted to go and call my mom, people would always be like, oh, I'm going to follow you so you can hear what your mom says. Did I beg anybody? So I finally just snuck away by myself. I got to sick bay. I met Nurse Obi. I said, Auntie, please, I want to call my mom. And she was like, okay. And then I called my mom, and I was like, Mommy, what did I get in JAM? And she said 237. Minus 100, minus 100. But the good thing was that personally, I also had not told anyone that I got 337. Like, everybody that would ask me, did you get 337? I'd be like, I don't know. I haven't talked to my mom. Oh, that's what I heard though. So this thing, but it was so embarrassing, because like then every like mass we had, I felt like we used to have masses on, I think, Wednesdays and Fridays. We used to have mass, I think, twice during the week. Then on Sunday, every single mass, our priest would call me and he would be like, have you heard from your mom now? And I'm so ashamed to say this, but I kept lying, because I couldn't just say, it's not as if you had from 337 then the real score was 300 or 310. It was 237. Now 237 is not actually a bad score. It's not a bad score. Like, if you get 237, you can actually get a good course. You get, but like, it was so different. I was so embarrassed. I was like, because it's not as if I started the rumor. It was just something that my big-mouthed younger sister went to go and spread. So me, if you're watching this, you're going to get in trouble for this. Anyway, so it wasn't like it was something I started. And then my principal actually called me. Like, it was so funny. During the middle of assembly, I just heard someone just came and tapped me. She was like, excuse me, Larry. I turned, was a junior student. And she was like, Sister Elizabeth is calling you. I started to sweat. They didn't need to tell me why she was calling me. I started to sweat. Here and there. When I reached her, I said, good morning, sister. And actually, she knew my mom. So, she knew my parents, actually. So I said, good morning, sister. I said, hello, how are you? She said, how are you? I said, fine. And she said, come closer. Then I came. She said, I heard you got 337 in JAM. ground to open up and swallow me. Sister, actually, I've been hearing it too, and I don't know who started that rumor. So anyway, I managed to just, like, everyone who kept, because people would never actually stop asking. People just kept asking and asking and asking and asking. So I ended up not really telling anybody. I think the only people I ended up telling were my fellow social science students, because even though I got 237, that was the highest among all social science students. So they knew it was too funny, because like the highest score after me was like 232. They knew something was not right for the highest score to be 232. Then I, who am also a social science student, just hit 33. They knew something was wrong. So when they now asked me personally, like my fellow social science students, were very few. I think we were 16 social science students in all, in a total of 806. So then one day, like 3 of them just asked me, like, "Oh, Larry, like, did you really?" This was like a whole month later. "Oh, Larry, did you really get 337?" And I was like, and they're like, "What do you get?" And I said, "I got 237." They're like, "Oh, that makes sense because nobody else got above 232." So it was later on when I now got home that was like during the break that I now found out that people who wrote exams from the 7th to the 12th of March that year, there was a problem with their what's it called, with the way the marking scheme, the way the computer marked it. So, and it wasn't only my school, so I know like a lot of people who that affected. So it was just so humiliating because everywhere you would go, everybody was asking, and I couldn't just say, "Oh, there was a mistake," and then the mistake wasn't a small mistake, it was a whole 100-mark mistake. So yeah, that was so humiliating because like every single place, I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. So let me know what embarrassing moments you guys have had, what humiliating moments you guys have had. And actually my sister and my cousins are hoping to make a sort of high school experience small series. So let me know if you guys will be interested in that. But till then, take care. See you guys later.